Hello, my name is Maya. Welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my Orlando theme parks series, I guess. Today we are doing Hollywood Studios, which is in Disney World. This was my second day of the trip. That's the order I'm doing this in. It's just the day of the trip that I took it. But you can honestly just watch them out of order. They're not crucial to watch in order, or you don't even have to watch all of them if you're just interested in one park. So Hollywood Studios, I did a full day. It was our Tuesday. We were there probably from about 9:30 to close, which I think was at 9 p.m. And we had a great day. I would say, like, overall we had a lot more issues on this day than we had before, and I'll tell you why in a second. But just in case you didn't watch my first one, I just want to again put this warning out here. We went to Orlando in August, and it was a really bad time to go to Orlando. It was really hot, and the heat is humid down there. It felt like a heat dome. There was thunderstorms for a lot of the days that we were at the park, and I would highly recommend not going to Orlando theme parks in the summertime, or especially August when I did. Though we had a really great time, it definitely impeded a lot of our travels, and I think we would have had a better time if it hadn't been as hot and as humid and there hadn't been thunderstorms. And this will become very apparent when I talk about my day at Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios, I believe, used to be called MGM. That was what my best friend was saying. And this was the park that we mainly wanted to go to because of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. That is where it's located, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't see much of Hollywood Studios outside of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, so this is going to be a very skewed and focused review on Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and it wasn't completely my fault that ended up happening. About halfway through the day, we had a thunderstorm, and it was really bad. Like, the rain was pelting you, and yes, we did have rain ponchos, very amazing colored rain ponchos that were getting soaked through basically with the rain, and there was a huge thunderstorm and lightning, so we actually ended up just sitting down for about an hour in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge underneath the cover. There wasn't a lot of cover, and there wasn't a lot we could really do. When the rain did kind of lighten up, we did go to a ride outside of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, but for the most part, this is going to be a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge review. Hollywood Studios I didn't really see much of. I'm just going to be honest off the bat. But Hollywood Studios has the same kind of setup as Magic Kingdom, and it's usually the main boulevard and then the main attraction that you take pictures in front of. On the end, that's what all the parks are kind of set up as, even Animal Kingdom, which has a bit of a different setup. I don't even remember what the main attraction was to take a picture in front of. This is how little time I actually spent in the main park. But I do remember the main boulevard. We did go to the shops there, and again, I'm just going to make the same complaint that I made in Magic Kingdom. I don't think they had very good merchandising, and honestly, I didn't really find anything outside of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge that I purchased. Overall, I think this was one of our least favorite parks. I think we said it was third out of 4 parks that we liked. Overall, I think it was mainly due to our thunderstorm experience that the park was not experienced to its highest ability. And though Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was really cool, everything outside of that we really didn't find a lot of connection with and really didn't get the time to explore. So that's kind of why it was on our lower end, I think. But this park did have Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and that was our main focus. That's really one of the things we were super excited about with Disney. I will attempt in the next 5 minutes to give you a review of the rest of the park, and then I will just go right into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Okay, in the rest of the park, we did exactly 2 rides. We did the Toy Story Alien ride. It was like a scrambler of sorts. You just sat down and the ride went like this. It was fine. We gave it like a 6. It was very average. We waited in a kind of long line for it. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit longer than we expected. But yeah, it was fine. And Toy Story Land there was pretty interesting. They had a Slinky Dog coaster that we genuinely really did want to go on, but due to the thunderstorms, outdoor rides got shut down. that got shut down, and it did not open up in time for us to go on it because we chose to go on Rise of Resistance instead, which was obviously the better choice because that's the best ride ever. But yeah, I would say Star Wars Toy Story part of it was pretty cool. And then outside of that, there's more of a studio kind of vibe. We went through the like Disney Hall of Fame kind of thing where it was just a big museum full of Walt Disney stuff. We don't really care about Walt Disney, but it was really funny because they had Descendants 2 costumes at the very end of it. And we were actually watching Descendants throughout the entirety of the trip. The 3 series, the 3 movies, and the animated short. As you may know, Descendants kind of slaps, but the 3rd movie doesn't. So that was kind of funny because Disney kind of forgets about DCOMs. That was actually something we really thought would be something that Disney would benefit from. If you're watching this, I really think that if you were to make another park, it should be geared towards Disney Channel, because I think that you're missing out on a huge market of people. And I would also like to go on Immaculate Ladybug ride. I would dress up as Ken and Will going there. I'm just saying, I'd look stupid, but I would go. But besides the point, that was pretty meh. We went to a restaurant that was actually pretty good. It was like an Italian restaurant. Had some actually really bomb food. It was another eggplant dish. They really served vegetarian exclusively eggplant there. So that was actually really good, the food there. That was our second best meal besides the Be Our Guest in Disney. And like, that was really good. Other than that, I mean, when you walk around Hollywood Studios, it kind of does feel like you're in a studio. There was like buildings and stuff like that that kind of looked like a studio vibe, you know what I mean? Like you're going to film in one of those buildings. Not as visually impressive as Magic Kingdom. I would say the visuals are kind of lacking at Hollywood Studios. The other ride that we went on in the Hollywood Studios outside of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was the Mickey and Minnie Railroad. We went on this because there was the storm, and once we had finally met up back together because we had separated, ironically, during the storm, just as the storm was passing, so we were separated for most of the storm. We met back up and decided we needed to go on an indoor ride, and that was an indoor ride that was available. Overall, we kind of enjoyed it. It was good. We had a great time. We gave it like a 9 out of 10. So like overall, it was a fun little railroad experience. I would actually highly recommend it. It was kind of stupid, but it was kind of fun. Other than that, I really don't have much to say about everything outside of Star Wars. So let me take you to my review of Star Wars. So the first ride that we did upon entering the park, which was a huge mistake, was Star Tours. It wasn't a huge mistake because Star Tours was a bad ride. So Star Tours is right outside of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It was the original Star Wars ride before they built Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We gave it a 7. Overall, we thought that it was a pretty decent ride. But it's a motion simulator that has a screen, and I have really bad motion sickness. But my motion sickness is very particular. It is only really affected when it comes to amusement rides when it is a motion simulator with a kind of screen experience, because I get motion sick with that. And I get really bad seasickness, and apparently even when the motion simulator pretends it's on the sea, I get motion sick. So I had a really bad bout of motion sickness for about an hour and a half after exiting that ride. And we just dealt with it while wandering around Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Let me tell you, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is incredible. It is really good. I think they did a really great job of making a condensed kind of park world experience. You really felt like you entered into the world of Star Wars. It is the fictional planet of Batuu, and they made an entire backstory about it, and my best friend kept asking all the employees questions like, what do you think of the First Order, and why did you join the Resistance, and stuff like that, because the cast members there are kind of trained to do that. However, When the Rise of Resistance broke down on the first time we went on it, I'll talk more about that later, I could tell that the staff members were kind of stressed a little bit, but my best friend took that chance to try to question the staff members as to where they lived and all that stuff, and I could see the sweat beating off them because they were not in the mood to answer those questions, which I thought was kind of funny. I think it's really well done. So Batuu is been taken over by the First Order, and the great thing about it is that you get stormtroopers and Kylo Ren going on little walks around the park and kind of doing like their surveillance. They will interact with you but also keep their distance. I tried to say that I wanted Kylo Ren to torture me and they ignore me, so good. Fair enough. They tend to interact more with like kids, which is fine by me. But also one of the employees overheard me saying, I want Daddy Kylo Ren to torture me. She didn't like it. She told me it was inappropriate. No kids were around me, okay? I'm not that crazy. There was no kids in sightline. It was just me and then this employee who overheard me. So anyways, I got a cast member to break character to scold me, so I just wanted to say Daddy Kylo. But it was actually really fun because in a lot of the parks there's no more free roaming characters, as I kind of mentioned with Magic Kingdom, but in this park all the Star Wars characters kind of free roam. So Rey and Chewie free roam, and they're obviously trying to hide from the Kylo and stormtroopers, which was really nice. But yeah, it was a really fun experience. They had everything, all the shops were kind of built as though it's a little market, so the main strip when you enter into as like a little market area, and they were just selling a bunch of merchandise. And then the other shop that we went into, the main one that we spent the most time in, was kind of like meant to be like a little kind of cave, like a little Jedi cave. And I actually bought this Jedi holocron. It cost me a lot of money. And I bought not one, but two of the white Kyber crystals, and I'll tell you why I'm not crazy, okay? The Kyber crystals, when you buy them, each of them, there's different ones. So there was obviously like blue, and there was, I think, yellow as well, and there was purple, and so on and so forth. Each of the Kyber crystals has a character that is like, has this type of Kyber crystal that actually speaks when you put it in the thing, when you load it up. And the thing is that each of the Kyber crystal has an option. So this one had two options. It had either Ahsoka or the guy in Rogue One who kept going the forces with me, and the blah, 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 blah. That guy, I don't remember his name. I don't really care about him. Anyways, I love Ahsoka. Ahsoka's my bitch. I love her so much. She's like my favorite Star Wars character. And I wanted Ahsoka. I wanted this Kyber crystal to be Ahsoka. This is not the Ahsoka one. I bought another one. The other one, the Ahsoka one's in here. Because I genuinely just wanted the Ahsoka one, and I'm crazy. Even though no one would ever know but me, I would know. And these were $20. This was $60. They're pretty expensive. So overall, I spent $100 on this contraption. Basically what you do is you turn it, and you turn it, and it lights up. And if you hold it like this,
may the Force be with you.
Ahsoka speaks. Well, the one complaint I do have about this Kyber crystal and the Jedi holocron, they also had like Sith holocrons too, if you wanted one. I just didn't really like the triangle shape that much. I really liked the aesthetic of the cube. Was that honestly I wasn't given on direction on how to work these. So I initially bought it, and the lady had told me that there would be two options, right? So I was like, okay, cool. At least I knew that. And she kind of said you just have to turn the thingies and then it'll turn on. However, I was not told that, oh, sorry, you also have to insert the Kyber crystal inside the Jedi holocron. So as you can see, it's in there. But I was not told that you actually had to hold the cube in a specific way in order to get the character to speak. I actually went back to the shop because I thought mine wasn't working because I couldn't hear a character speak. And the lady she touched it, she's like, oh yeah, no, it's working. She didn't tell me how to hold it. So when I was like, so then when I went back outside and it wasn't working again, I was like, what the fuck? So I went back in, and the final guy I talked to was like, oh yeah, you have to hold it like this. And I was like, why was I not told that? So in case you did buy a Jedi Holocron and you're confused, there's these two dark parts here, and you have to hold your fingers like that.
When I was young, I was reckless. Being a fugitive taught me patience. I learned to watch, to wait, and to trust the Force.
And yeah, so that is my Jedi Holocron. I think it's really cool. I'm pretty happy about that purchase. In order to make the Jedi Holocron work, you have to put a Kyber crystal in it. By the way, you can't, if you just wanted to buy the Jedi Holocron without the Kyber crystal, it wouldn't work. Overall, you have to spend $80. You don't have to spend $100 like I did, because I'm a crazy person and I wanted the Ahsoka one. I thought they had a pretty decent selection of things you could buy in Galaxy's Edge. I will say overall, I wasn't like, besides the Jedi Holocron, everything was a bit pricey, as you can see, but there wasn't anything other than that I was like super into. And the things that I did want to do, like building a droid or building your own lightsaber, cost a shit ton of money, and I just don't have that money. Okay, this trip cost an arm and a leg, and I did it very cheaply. I didn't buy a whole lot of stuff. I genuinely do think that it is a very expensive place to visit if you want to do the full experience. I looked into the droid building thing and I looked at the lightsaber building thing, and they're both seem really cool. So if you do have that money, like, go ahead and do it. I'm just a poor just graduated student and I don't have to pay my rent. And it was either rent or build a droid. And unfortunately, I need to live somewhere, and so does my hamsters. They also had a bunch of kind of shops there, restaurants there. There was this one really cool one when you first entered that had a droid kind of manually turning some pigs. They're like fake, obviously. And my best friend got a breakfast sandwich there, a vegan breakfast sandwich there that was really good. There was a kind of main cafeteria area that was like a loading dock 7, I believe it was called. And I got some vegan falafel there. It was really good. It was actually like decent. But what my sister got, I don't remember. I think it was some sort of like mac and cheese chicken kind of thing. She didn't like it. They have specialty brand of like water, and like Coke and stuff like that. So if you like buy a Coke, it comes in a little circle, like a little, kind of looks like a Christmas ornament kind of circle thing, like a ball. So everything was kind of tailored that way. All of the drink booths were kind of set up to be like old kind of speeders and stuff like that. So you really felt immersed in the experience. The shops looked authentic. Everything looked really authentic. Definitely one of the main parts of Galaxy's Edge is the Millennium Falcon. It is beautiful. It is actually really, really good. It's a great replica. I genuinely was very impressed with everything I saw there. I saw a lot of effort put into it. And I think that you really do feel like you're immersed in there. I will say there's not a lot of shade. It's not super big. Like, we wandered around it maybe 3 or 4 times and kind of saw everything. And though we really liked it, I definitely think it could be a bit bigger. It's kind of small. Some other things was we tried the green and blue milk. As you know, our boy Luke likes titty milk. And they're blue and green for some reason. And that was nice. I mean, they're just kind of a fruity thing, like a fruity slush. Overall, I really think it's a really cool place. I highly recommend it. If you haven't been to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and you've been kind of on the fence about it, I highly recommend. It's worth going to Hollywood Studios for. I think the experience is amazing. And like overall, I was just highly impressed. I mean, you really felt like you were in there. The nice thing about Disney is, again, they have their sight lines down to a T. You cannot see anything outside of the park, like outside of Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios from Galaxy's Edge, which makes you really feel like you're in Star Wars. One more thing. We also went to Oga's Cantina, which you have to book in advance. It's a bar. It was really, really cool. We got these really fancy fizzy drinks. It was just a really cool experience. They had like an animatronic droid in the corner doing like a DJ thing. The bartenders were all in character, and like overall it was just a really fun place, and I highly recommend going there. We were exhausted when we went there. We probably looked so tired, but it was just a really nice way to get out of the heat too. There was aircon, you get a drink, you get some water. So I'd highly recommend that. It was a really nice experience. The two rides that are in Galaxy's Edge is the Millennium Falcon, basically doing like a shipment run for Hondu. And then Rise of the Resistance, which is by far the best ride ever created. So the Millennium Falcon one was really fun. Basically, you get like a group of 6 tour pilots, tour shooters, and tour mechanics, and you're basically in a replica of the Millennium Falcon, and you're flying the Millennium Falcon. You're doing your shipment for Hondu, and you're getting attacked from all sides, and one of the pilots does the side-to-side motion of the plane, and one of the pilots goes up and down, and one of my best friends got to do the hyperdrive, which was really cool, and it was just a really fun experience. It is a screen ride. Obviously it's a motion simulator screen ride, but I was okay with that one because it wasn't as bad as the Star Tours. And I'd also taken a shit ton of gravel. Gravel will save your life, kids. So I highly recommend that. We all gave it a 10 out of 10. We had a really good time. The wait was super long though, so just a heads up on that. But highly recommend. And then Rise of the Resistance. So you may be asking, Maya, what was Rise of the Resistance like? And I'd be like, fuck, it was amazing. Here's what happened. So about midday after going to Oga's Cantina, we decided we were going to hop in the line for Rise of the Resistance. And we get through the line, and we get to the third part of the ride, and the ride breaks down. And so we are all escorted off the ride, and then we were given lightning passes to go in at any time before 9 p.m. when the park closes. Unfortunately for us, the Rise of Resistance was delayed for the next like 4 hours. So it only opened up at around 8, and we rushed from our dinner reservation at the Italian restaurant right back to Rise of Resistance and hopped in the line. Now, our one and only experience with Lightning Pass was really disappointing. We were in a line for maybe an hour, and we had a Lightning Pass. And I know that it's because a lot of people broke down on the ride at the same time we did, and they were all given Lightning Passes. However, I think that's really, really stupid. But we did get on the ride. So let me tell you about the ride. So it is a kind of 3-parter. So first you enter into a room, and you're told that you're going to be evacuated from Batuu, which is the Galaxy's Edge planet that they created. And you're going to go to a Resistance base. And Rey and BB-8, there's a BB-8 animatronic that is really good, and then Rey comes in as a hologram and gives you this mission. And then you go into a lane, which is Mon Calamari is driving you. It's a really, really good animatronic Mon Calamari, and you kind of get to see a screen pretending that you're driving. There's also a animatronic of a pilot at the front. Poe is also there via screen. He is in hypothetically one of the fighter jets around you as you are trying to get to the Resistance base. Then you get captured by the First Order. You get pulled in, and then you're let out of the ship motion simulator, and you are in the First Order base, like docking base, and the set immediately blows you away. There is like maybe 50 to 60 stormtrooper animatronics lined up, and they have the opening to like the galaxy where the ships come through. It's built completely to be like a First Order docking bay, and it's just incredible. All of the cast members there are dressed in First Order uniforms, and they treat you as though you are a prisoner. They tell you you're captured, they bring you to a prisoner waiting line, and that's the second part of the ride, the third party ride you're waiting for. And so you just hop in the line and they're mean to you, which I thought was amazing, because I don't know if you know this about Disney, but the cast members have to be really nice to you and call you friends, but not in Star Wars land. They're mean to you, and I thought that was really interesting. Then you get into your prison cell block. They have a kind of screen holograms of Hux and Kylo talking about what to do with you. And so they leave to go deal with something on the side, and then you get rescued by the Resistance. And there's this really cool part where they actually cut open a part of the door of like the wall, and it pops open. And so then you get to the actual part of the ride, which is a cart ride. And it's just incredible. Basically, you are fleeing along the halls of the First Order, trying to escape the Stormtroopers and Kylo Ren, who is chasing you. And there is 3 Kylo Ren animatronics, and I will say they're all so well done. The one at the end that is force pulling you back and forth is definitely like a feat of technology. And overall, you feel so immersed in the Star Wars canon. You feel like you're actually there. They don't rely on 3D screens or anything like all these other rides do. Especially when I talk about Universal, their reliance on 3D screens and their lack of reliance on animatronics did hinder a lot of their rides, I would say. But in this ride, it's all basically animatronics and all set building, and to say that they put like 110% into it is amazing. And you will never ever ride another ride like that. Like, if you like Star Wars, this is the best ride ever, and I highly recommend it. Like, I highly recommend it. It was the best way to end off the day for us. We had kind of got a bit cranky because of the thunderstorms had impeded a lot of what we wanted to do, but overall we were just so happy we went on that ride, and it made our trip to Hollywood Studios and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge worth everything. And I think that everyone in there who has ever been a Star Wars fan should at one time in their life go on that ride. It was just incredible. That's what I have to say. Hollywood Studios overall, not much to say about the park. But Galaxy's Edge was really good, and Rise of the Resistance is the best ride ever created, so I just highly recommend you go on it. It was really impressive. And yeah, so that was our Hollywood Studios day. Not as impressive as our Magic Kingdom day, but not our fault, because we had ride breakdowns and also thunderstorms. So I will catch you in part 3, which will be Epcot. Bye!